Thank you, Anna. Thank you for all the advisors, U.S. Embassy, so for an amazing opportunity. It's really, really nice to meet you all virtually. As Anna was saying, even though we are facing challenges and uncertain times, one thing we are certain is that this is a good time for you to start planning your future. And your future is now, my friends. So it is my pleasure to be here speaking with you directly from Davis, California. And it's a good evening to me, but I know it's good morning to you all. I'm going to try to say in Korean, onion, or something like that. So forgive me, I'm learning new words along with learning how to do the Zoom and all this high technology so we can be together. Now, so as Anna said, my name is Adriana Aguina. I am the International Partnership Coordinator at UC Davis-School of Law. And my goal today is, I have many goals, but the most important goal today is to give you information about the LLM programs and how to best understand how the judicial system works in the United States at large and help you to find the best LLM program, the program that is right for you. Everybody has a plan, and it could be a different plan because there are so many different ways you can use your law degree and further your education in the United States. So with that said, we're going to start a presentation, and I do ask if you happen to have any questions as I speak, please, please, please do not forget to send your question via chat box, because we are going to reserve some time at the end of the presentation to answer your questions. I also have invited our Dean, Beth Greenwood. She's our Associate Dean for the International Programs. She's also the Executive Director for our LLM program. So she will be joining me later and will help us to answer all your questions. So there is no silly questions. All questions are important. All right, my friends. So as Anna said, you guys are muted, so you cannot talk to me right now. But one way that we are going to communicate is through the chat box. Okay, so my friends, as I said, the goal is to help you to find the best LLM program. Regardless where you are now, whether you're thinking about should I go back to school and pursue a Master of Laws program in the United States, because you would like to further education, and because you would like also to experience, live in another country, because there's so much learning in there, a different culture, a different judicial system. How do you even go about that? How do we start? There are so many steps, and my hope is to clarify them for you. All right, so let's start our presentation here. There you go. Now, what I want to start telling you guys is that there are different degrees that the U.S. law schools offer. And they are the JD, the Juris Doctor, the Master of Laws, LLM, and the Doctor of Juridical Science, which is also well known by SJD or PhD. Now, let's understand a little bit more about the Juris Doctor, the JD degree. So the JD degree, it lasts about 3 years, and it has mandatory as well as elective classes. And the reason is, my friend, is because the goal, this program is designed for domestic, mostly for domestic students, because their goal is to become licensed attorneys in certain states in the United States. So it is important for them and mandatory to pass the bar exam in order to be able to become an attorney in the USA. Therefore, they have to go through the 3-year program, and it's called the JD, the Juris Doctor, the JD degree. Now, unlike the JD, something that's very important to understand the differences between a JD degree and the LLM degree is that the JD requires the LSAT. LSAT is the Law School admission test. It's a very rigorous, complex, intense exam that the students have to take in order to be able to qualify to fulfill the requirements for the JD, the Juris Doctor. Now, the difference, which is very important to understand, is that the Master of Laws, the LLM degree, does not require that you take the LSAT exam. And the Masters of Laws, the LLM degree, does require that you pass a English proficiency test. That said, the most common tests are the TOEFL, IELTS. Some universities do accept TOEIC. So it kind of depends on what university you are dealing with and what the requirements are. But I can say that most of the universities will require that you take the TOEFL and pass the TOEFL, and they have a different scores. Every university, every law school has a different score for your TOEFL, the minimum requirement. And the reason is, my friends, of course, maybe English is your second or third or fourth language. It means that they want to make sure that you are able to understand and to participate in the classroom. So that's why it's important to have that exam. Now, the LLM program or degree is designed for foreign lawyers as well as domestic. Most of the time, we have a huge population of international legal professionals or international students who have just acquired their LLB in law that decide to come to the United States to acquire a higher education, a Master of Laws in the US. So with that said, they can complete the program in 1 or 2 years. It depends on their time, their finances, and how much of that experience they can take with them. So for example, at UC Davis-School of Law, you can complete your LLM program in 1 or 2 years. We find that some legal professionals need more time in order to complete their program because perhaps they want to take more classes. They have that time and the ability to stay longer so that way they can focus on some specialty classes if there is one that they are interested in. So that way they can extend their period of time. And I will go over more about UC Davis. I'm just giving you an example. But normally, if you're looking to complete a Master of Laws degree in the United States, it's going to be between 1 and 2 years. 1 year being the most common time. Now, one of the advantages obviously is to also not only to understand how the US judicial system works, and you may or may not know that, but in the United States, we have the common law system. So for example, I know that in some countries like Brazil, my home country, we have the civil law system. So when you come to America to do an LLM, you're going to learn how the laws are made in the approach, the source of law, which are the common law, the past judgments, the judge has power to make law. So that's a different approach to the law. And I'm going to talk more about this, but just to give an example, it's very enriching. And some of our students do decide to take the bar because when you do complete your LLM program, you do qualify to sit for the bar exam. Now, it is important to understand and know that ahead of time when you're planning to come and to study and what is your goal in obtaining your LLM degree, because there are requirements, my friends, yes. So the state bar depending on the state where you would like to become a licensed attorney, there are specific requirements, specific classes that you need to take in order to qualify to sit for the bar exam. And I will talk more about the bar exam in a little bit. So when I'm thinking about what is it that I need to know about the Masters of Law program, what my goals are. Do I want to be able to sit for the California, New York, or whatever state that might be in the United States? If so, I need to know ahead of time, right? So you can plan your degree, your course of studies according to the requirements of the bar exam. So that's very, very important. Now, another degree that's also popular, but it's not so much designed or having the bar exam as a goal, is the SJD or the PhD, which is the Doctor of Juridical Science degree. This one is a longer degree. It's about 3 to 5 years. And we have both domestic and foreigner scholars that come basically to work on their research. So that's a different public. They are mostly focused on their educational research and academic space. All right, so we did an overview of the degrees. There are many options, but these are the most important ones: a JD, an LLM, and an SJD or PhD degrees. Now, moving forward. All right, so there's something that I would like to share with you so you understand better how our Constitution here in the United States works and how the powers that some of the states have, because they have the authority, their own Constitution, unlike some of the states in other countries. So, for example, if the power is not delegated to the federal government, it remains with the state. We have 50 states in the United States, which means that those states have the prerogative and the authority to have their own constitution. All this to say, my friends, that every state has their own rules. Therefore, if you wanted to become a licensed attorney in California, right, you have to sit for the California bar exam. There is no reciprocity with another state. So if you want to be a licensed attorney in New York, for example, then you have to sit for the New York bar exam. And New York has some reciprocity with other states. So that's the importance of knowing, why do I need an LLM? And do I want to sit for the bar because I would like to be a practicing attorney in X state? What the requirements are. Is there any reciprocity? So unlike some countries where you have a national license, for example, in Brazil, if you do take the bar exam, which is the national exam, you are licensed to practice law anywhere in Brazil, right? It's unlike in the United States, it's per state. Every state has its own constitution and they have the power to decide their rules. And therefore, you would have to sit for the bar exam of that specific state. So keep that in mind. I have listed on the PowerPoint a comprehensive guide to bar admissions. It's updated annually because all the information that is changed is updated on that guide. So I do suggest if you do want to research more about it, please do use that resource. And again, I will talk a little bit more about the bar and further on the next slides. Okay, moving on. So as I was saying about becoming licensed to practice in the United States, right? Everything starts with number one, your education. So the questions that you need to ask yourself is, will my degree qualify me to sit for the US bar exam? So that's why it's important to understand from the jump what your plans are, right? So if you do get an LLM, can you sit for the US bar exam? Again, it all depends on the state that you're planning on practicing law. Now, the bar exam is given twice per year. So normally it's February and July, and it lasts for 2 days. And every bar has some nuances, so you need to check every state as well, okay? But virtually speaking, 2 days, twice a year. And then there are also additional requirements in order to be able to sit for the bar. Some of them are the MPRE, which is a multiple choice exams that are tested. A lot of the subjects that are tested on the bar, so that you need to pass that exam as well. And character and fitness, so more character and fitness as well. They want to know who you are. They do a background check on you, which is important, right? It's all about being ethical, etc. And as well as some pro bono work. So there are some nuances that's important for you to make sure that you understand. Again, the comprehensive guide to bar admission requirements are on the slide. I want you to take a look at it. So when you're looking for information online, you can understand exactly the good sources for you to find the information about the bar exam. All right, moving on. Now we are getting to the fun part. The question is, how should you choose your law school? There are so many considerations, and I'm happy and excited to share with you that I myself personally have gone through the process, because I also have an LLM from the United States. So I'm speaking from experience as well, because it is important to understand that there are some uncertainty, there are some questions, and I would like for you to take into consideration a number of them. So let's deep dive here on this important information about faculty. So what are the importance? I think I have a friend here, just 1 second. Let's see if I can. Did it work? Okay, all right, now she can hear me. Yes, okay. So faculty, let's talk about faculty. Why is it important? Well, think about the kind of law you want to practice, the faculty that are available for you in that specific law school. One way to find out more about the faculty, their publications, the fields of law that they are active, is to look at their website and their bio. Well, think about it. You're coming to law school. Faculty is essential. These are your mentors, right? The people that you're going to be learning from, right? It's one of the reasons why you are making such an investment, is to learn from the best. Now, something that's important for you to understand and always to look for the answer is how available is the faculty, right? Do they have office hours? Can I get a hold of them by email, text message, Zoom, now that everything is going online? So make sure you have office hours and you have that, the ability to really maximize your time and learn from the best. And remember, friends, faculty members know a lot of people. They're not only going to mentor you, but they're also going to be a great source of networking opportunities, okay? Another source of opportunity, speaking of network, is the alumni. Alumni are the successful people that have graduated, that have gone through the program and are successful. They're out there now working. These are the people that you want to make sure you have access. Because guess what? If there is someone from Korea who is now in the United States, for example, practicing law that you can connect with, these are the people that can give you inside information. They can assist you if you're looking for a job opportunity, right? If you're looking for a OPT, there's so many pieces to that. So it is important that not only you have good faculty, recognized internationally, nationally, as well as the access to the alumni. That's important. People that have come before you have succeeded, and they are now there to help you succeed as well. Another important aspect when you're looking for your law school is what kind of support service are there for the students? Well, do they have a career services office, for example? And what does that mean? So I'll give you an example. At UC Davis-School of Law, when we offer a number of services for our students, we have also special service for the international students. So think about it when you are getting ready to go out there after you graduate. You have all the knowledge. You are now trying to connect with people, going through networking opportunities, right? You need to have your resume. I'll give you a simple example. In the United States, most of the time, the resume is one page. Versus in other countries, it's a CV, né? The curriculum vitae, 5-6 pages, right? You can put your photo. The resume is short, it's one page. How can you possibly put all the information in only one page? So we have the career services staff that is there like to help you out, to teach you how to be prepared for an interview, how can you socialize, how can you do network, how to introduce yourself. Remember, you are in a different country, different culture, so there's a lot of things that you're going to be learning and you're going to be guided. And that's something important. Another example that at UC Davis-School of Law we offer to our students is a psychologist for our LLM students. And the reason is you're away from home. There's some, a lot of newness in the beginning of your program. So there's a lot of things that you may want to talk to someone about your situation. So these are examples of what the support, what kind of support they offer to the students. Not only to the students, especially for the Master of Laws students, for the foreigner students, because obviously there is a difference, right? So there's that transition moment it's important to be aware of. Now, obviously, reputation. So have you heard of this school before? Do you know anyone that has gone to that school? Can you connect with that person, right? What is it that you can look online to see the reputation? I will give you more examples, but US News and other LLMguide.com that are wonderful resources, and I'll list for you in the next slide or so, because it is important for you to understand what that school is known for, where it's located, what kind of reputation it has within the law field, right? And then, of course, rankings. Again, US News and World Report law school rankings are some of the most trustworthy sources for you to look into the rankings of the school, and as well as the reputation. So that's something to take into consideration while you're looking for your law school. Now, moving on. What else should I consider when I am making my research online, talking to people, right? So again, is it important for me to understand we say the student to faculty ratio. What does that mean? It means that there are a lot of professors, more professors than there are students, because you want to make sure that you have that accessibility to be able to access your professor, whether it's via email or in person during the office hours. It is extremely important to have that opportunity to speak with your professor, not only during the classes, but also in other network events where you can casually also have a good conversation with your professors. And as I said, office hours are very important. Are they available to help you out after hours? Now, a lot of faculty, you will find out that they are also involved with the student organizations. So how is this important? Well, let me give you an example. At UC Davis School of Law, we host a number of events at lunchtime where students, and it's all for free, the students and professors all come together. There's always a lecture at lunchtime of a specific topic that's a hot topic or something that's going on in the world that's important. So they have that ability to also hear from different aspects of the law and what's going on, the most important and hot topics. So we also have our faculty that are inviting other professionals, legal professionals, to come and join us at lunchtime, so that way everybody can have access to what's the news in the law world. Again, symposium, are there other educational events that you can be part of? Because not only learn in the law school, in the classroom, all the events are important for you to be aware of what's going on in the world, and being able to participate in these educational events are key for you to network and also get to know other people that are in the same situation that you are, and learn, right? Because we are always learning, we're always evolving. All right, my friends. So when we're talking about the areas of specialty, what do I mean by that? Remember that there are options when you're talking about your LLM program. So for example, if there is an area of law that you're interested in, right, you want to make sure that that law school offers, that are professors that are well recognized in that specific area of law. So important things for you to consider is, do I want a general LLM? Do I want to specialize in a specialized area? So the general LLM degree will give you the ability to have an overall review of the judicial system in the United States. Assuming that you would like to take the bar exam, you're also going to fulfill the requirements by taking certain classes. But that gives you the ability to have an overall review of the important subjects like constitutional law, contracts, ethics, and the other important subjects. Now, if you want to a specialized area of law, and I will go over a little bit further, then you need to understand what path you want to take. So let's say that you would like to learn more about business law, if that's your case. Then your classes are going to be designed, right, for you to focus on the business law area. That way you are not only having a Master of Laws degree, but you also have an area of specialty, whatever that might be. For example, at UC Davis-School of Law, we have a lot of students that are interested in intellectual property. Not only because we are really close to Silicon Valley, but we also have, faculty that's internationally recognized in this area. So that's something that they tell us ahead of time, so that way we can design a course that will really correspond to their expectation. So that's something very, very important I would like for you to take into consideration if you would like to have a general LLM or a specialized area of the law. Okay, again, look for the professors that are well known in the field. Are you going to take the bar or not? In which state you would like to take the bar because of all the things that I've mentioned before, right? And another option, my friends, is that some students do choose to transfer to the JD program. So most of the time they start with an LLM and they successfully complete it in 1 year. Now, some of the students decide to transfer to the JD program and have a Juris Doctor degree because they want to sit for the bar, right? And study all the subjects, which is 3 years, remember? So they have the first year of LLM and 2 years to complete the JD degree. So the question is, if you do want that option, make sure the law school offers that option for you. Not every law school in the United States offers that option. And remember, one advantage, at least at UC Davis School of Law, for example, is that when you successfully complete your LLM program, you can transfer to the JD, provided that you have complied with the requirements. You do not need to take the LSAT exam. like you would have if you had chosen to do a straight JD. So that's something that's important to keep in mind. I ask you, it's important for you to understand the difference. And when you're looking for the LLM program, look to see if the law school does offer that option for you. And if so, what are the requirements? You want to make sure that you meet the requirements, right? Otherwise, you're not going to be able to move forward, okay? Again, we talk about 1 or 2 year program. Is it a full-time or not? Remember, I want to make sure that I do emphasize this, that when you do your LLM program, it's a rigorous program, because not only you are learning legal English, right? You are learning a new judicial system, a different source of law, although it's very interesting, right? There is a lot of newness. You are adapting to a new culture. You are adapting to a new country, a new system, and we're going to talk more about what it is in the classroom in a little bit. So we do advise that the students, make sure that they know the requirements. Do I need to do as well an English program prior to my LLM program? And how does that best prepares me for my LLM program? So I'm going to talk more about it. And we, for example, at UC Davis-School of Law, we do offer our summer programs where we have the English for legal professionals and the orientation US law. That way, if you do decide to take them, you're going to be able to be best prepared for your classes before you start our LLM program. Now, I will go over our offerings at UC Davis-School of Law further. I just want to give you an overall understand what the options are out there when you're looking for your law school. And we are moving on with our slides, and I see questions coming in. I feel excited about it. Now, what else should I consider? Can you guys see my screen? Good? Okay. So LLMs and the, JD integrated or not. So it is interesting for you to understand the dynamic. So if you are having your LLM program, and some schools do offer that integration, you're going to be taking classes with the JD, the American law students. And some students at first feels a little nervous because I'm studying with the American law students, may feel intimidated because like me, they have an accent, right? But they are smart and they don't let this be in their way. In fact, we find that our students at UC Davis Law School that do take classes with the DG, because the JD students, we have an integrated system, they enjoy so much because they learn from the American students, not only because they're listening to them, they are participating in class, right? And they are getting the vocabulary, they are interacting with the students, they are understanding how the Socratic method works, and I will talk to you more about it, which is different in some countries, but it is an amazing opportunity to learn from the best with the best students. So this is something that you need to understand and to research while we're looking for your law school to make sure that your school does offer classes integrated with the JD students. And if not, are you going to be taking classes with only international lawyers, which is great, but don't you want to have that experience, be exposed to JD American students? So we found that it is an amazing experience. At first, they get nervous, but guess what? They learn from it. And afterwards, they are very grateful with that experience, right? So pay attention, make sure that you know whether the law school that you're looking for does offer the opportunity to take classes with the JD students, because not only they become good friends, they learn from each other, but it's also an amazing source of networking. All right, moving on, my friends. Okay, what else do we need to consider take into consideration when you talk about the student associations on campus. What is it available for me in order to be able to integrate within the community? What kind of organizations do they offer? How many clubs? And this is because you not only learn while you are in the classroom, but outside, right? You are casually socializing, networking with a number of people. And those people are the ones that have the same goals, the same interests that you, because we have so many clubs that you could associate with, take part, participate on lectures, conferences, and be able to take advantage of that moment. So, for example, at UC Davis-School of Law, we offer more than 50 organizations, which means that there are so many options that you can get involved in the community, right? And also participate and learn more from the culture and socialize with other students that are like-minded, like you. Right? So we're going to talk more about this in the next slides, but I just wanted to make sure it's important. It's part of your culture experience while you are studying your LLM program in your university, at the law school as well. Okie doke, I see some questions coming in. Thank you, my friend. This is really important for us to be able to understand your needs, and your questions will be answered shortly. So not only we're talking about the law school, but as well as the student life and community, because after all, you're going to be spending 1 or 2 years. It depends on how long you can stay for your LLM program. So it is extremely important to understand what the law school, what the university offers in terms of the community life. It's important for you to feel safe, to feel respected, to feel welcomed, right? And the connection to a particular school. So one of the tips that we share with our students is that, do you know someone that has attended that law school? Because those are the people that can share with you their experience, and you guys can learn together. So that's one of the sources that you can use. Now, if you are coming with your family, and that's not uncommon, make sure that the place where you're going to be living, your new community, it's children-oriented, it's family-oriented, right? Now, do you like small towns, big cities? What is it that you're are looking for? What kind of experience would you like to live? So that's the important consideration when you're looking to the campus, the city, or the town that you're going to be living in, because with this will affect your experience as well, right? How do you go to classes? Can you commute? Do you have to have a car? Can you ride a bicycle? Can you walk? So what kind of transportation there is available for you to use? So again, those are some of the questions to be aware. Also, are there other opportunities for recreation within the campus? Do they have a gym? Can you go and practice sports and do exercise? Where is it located? So again, some of the considerations that I would like for you to always keep in mind while you're doing your research online. You want to make sure that you are safe, right? That you feel like home. All right, moving on, my friends. Other important things for you to consider. Budget, we're talking about money. Of course, it is important for you to understand how much that's going to cost for you to live. So something to think about, the cost to live in a big city or a smaller town, right? Transportation and other facts that you need to take into consideration on the top of your tuition, okay? How can you make the payments of your tuition as well, okay? Most of the law schools do not ask for due upfront, which means that they're not going to be asking for payment before. But again, it all depends on the every university policy and the law school. Now, it is important to see, and I ask you to look for sources in terms of scholarships. In fact, I have listed a source. It's from UC Davis School of Law. We have listed a number of scholarships and funding organizations for you to start with, right? So if that's a place for you to understand the organizations that are out there, that are available for you to apply, that will help in the cost of your tuition. So I ask you to please take a note of this, our link, and I will also share with you later on our chat box. So that way you can also access that information while you're doing your research, because obviously if there is available scholarships, you need to know where they are located and start applying now. Okie dokie. So with that said, I was able to give you an overall review, right, of the important information that we need to be aware while you're looking for a law school, as well as some important considerations. I have already talked to you about and given you some examples about UC Davis School of Law. So I will move through some of these slides because I do want to leave some time for us to talk about the questions that you have asked. But as I said, when you're looking for your LLM, do you want to do a pre-LLM program at the same school? And we talked about the English for legal professionals, as well as we also talk about the orientation in US law. And we'll talk more in details, time permitting. Okay, so something that I would like to emphasize, you guys, is about the Socratic method. And we did talk about it, where the students and the professor have that wonderful conversation. It's such a very interactive method. That's where the students can really interact and learn and be able to have that exchange of knowledge with the professors. Okay, we also have here one way to apply, and we talk about the applications. One platform is the LSAC, the School Admission Council, where you can download your transcripts, all the information needed through this one centralized platform. Or you can also apply in some law schools. For example, at UC Davis, you can apply through our website, which is free of any charge. So we do encourage the students to start applying now. We talk about our llmguide.com, and I will be listing some of the other resources here for you to understand more, to attend other virtual sessions and learn more about the other law schools, as well as UC Davis School of Law. We talk about California being here, the city of Davis. That's where we are located. As I said, a safe and a family-friendly town, about 60,008 residents. And as I said, bicycle capital of the United States, so people do ride their bicycles, and you're gonna see that there's a highly educated population. Okay, my friends, just a second. I see we have more questions here, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna move forward here with some of the information that I have shared with you guys with your permission. And I'm happy to share more information about UC Davis School of Law. But I do want to take advantage that our Dean, Beth Greenwood, who is here to answer your questions.